But last time we talked a lot about, you surprised me and told me you're on food stamps, which we weren't aware of.
No, we did not. He called me immediately.
Yeah, but
I was like, what?
You're like, what?
When she signed up and she asked if she can pay with food stamps, that should have been
your first clue.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm gonna have to check into that.
But
I could. Jay was going to try to figure out a deal.
I was just
I might be able to make this
I text
work.
you. I was like, do we accept food stamps?
Welcome to the Best Hour of Their Day podcast with your host, Jason Fernandez.
And me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
As both coaches and affiliate owners
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
All right. In this episode of Best Hour, we're going to talk about pyramids.
Last episode was
Dads.
talking.
Or else,
No, dudes talking dads.
Dudes talking dads. Today we're going to talk pyramids, aliens, and Africa.
Geometry and
Which is not South America.
Not South America. In fact, it's not. But we have two special guests. We're here in Austin, Texas.
Are you referring to us?
We are special. And we are in Austin, Texas, the weekend of the Rogue Invitational. Jenn and Amanda, who many of the listeners may remember, Bombshell CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back, maybe, I don't know, 50 episodes-ish.
Maybe not
Wow.
even that many. I have to go back and look.
Jenn is the box owner. We call it from food stamps
to motorcycles.
to motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Mhm.
How's the motorcycle coming?
I mean, it's still in the works, but it'll be there. 2022, it'll be there.
We were just talking one wheels. Amanda got a one wheel. I'm a little nervous for her.
Don't do it, man.
Fern wiped out, and he is a former regional athlete. So he's athletic, Division I
And I
basketball
was about
player.
to say Division I basketball. player.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can imagine if he could wipe out
I
what
know.
the average person could do.
And he had a sub 3 Fran.
234.
I mean, that's faster than
I'm
mine.
still waiting for my invitation to the Legends.
Yeah.
I know.
Still-
What's up with
I was
that?
We're boycotting. Let's have a sign up tomorrow. We want Fern.
We went for.
Who's this spiel guy? So, and you guys are in town volunteering.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
How's that been so far?
that's been pretty
It's been good.
awesome. Yeah,
The real show starts tomorrow. So
yeah.
Special assignments.
Yep.
Did you have to do anything special to earn that assignment?
No.
apply
Yeah,
online and get
basically.
chosen.
How did you say, hey, I want special assignments versus
Mm-mm.
judging?
No. Well, they had us fill out.
We had first,
form.
second, third pick. We picked equipment first, obviously.
Oh, you don't want to do
We didn't
equipment.
we didn't get chosen for it. So
No.
Equipment's like
so-
just
That's just slave labor.
Yeah.
I thought about doing medical,
Not actual
but
slave labor, everybody. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she thought about doing medical, but then I was like, "Well, you'll be by yourself."
What kind
'cause
of
I'm
nurse
not
are you,
medical.
Amanda?
work in the ER.
Okay. Are you a nurse? Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And then I don't remember what our second choice was. I can't remember. I think special assignments was actually like our third choice. So
and you
maybe
got
third.
it.
Yeah,
and you
we
got
got
it. But
it.
Rogue's taking good care of you.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
They've been awesome.
Great time so far.
Yeah.
So, and how far of a drive was it from Bombshell?
3 hours.
from our area, about 3-ish hours, just a little over 3. So
All
not
right.
bad.
Well, let's talk a little differently than last time. Last time we had you on, both of you. And for the listeners, Jen's the owner, 100% owner, correct?
Yep.
Amanda's kind of your right hand woman,
Yep.
full-time nurse, but does this on the side. She was at most of our meetings. She
Mhm.
continues to come in. But last time we talked a lot about, you surprised me
hmm
and told me you're on food stamps, which we weren't aware of.
No, we did not. He called me immediately.
Yeah, well,
I
I
was
should
like,
have.
what?
You're like, what?
When she signed up and she asked if she can pay with food stamps, that should have been.
Your first clue.
Yeah,
I was
they're
like,
like,
You're
"Huh."
like, I'm gonna have to check into that.
But
I could. Jay was going to try to figure out a deal.
I was just
I might
like,
be able to make this
I
work.
texted you. I was like, do we accept food stamps?
I was like,
He said,
just no
Fern-
IOUs.
Fern doesn't
Yeah, no.
accept anything from the government, so he did not
He's like, no.
accept them. But you went from food stamps to a thriving business,
Mhm.
but recently you've really put a lot of new things into play.
Yeah.
And one of my recent responses to you was, congrats, you have a business.
Yeah.
So how does that feel?
Oh, like night and day compared to before I got on with you guys. I mean, she knows, that I was probably about that close to deciding to throw the towel in and shut the doors. So to turn it all around and to have it actually a profitable business now and to keep seeing progress and to know that there's only one way to go and it's up.
What was your biggest struggle of, like, let's say 18 months ago?
I would say retention.
Okay.
Keeping people in the door.
Really? That was, you think your biggest struggle? Because
Well,
I mean,
and financial.
that in I don't think
but they're kind of one
They're
of the
one and the
same.
same.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like there was, I mean, we still have what we call our OGs. There's not a lot around. I mean, I would say there's maybe like 10 people that were there year one. But I feel like right now our community is probably stronger than it's ever been. And I just feel like there was a lot of people like a foot in, foot out. I mean, putting things in place like membership agreements and that kind of stuff, I think really solidifies people wanting to stay. Like they know they're making a commitment versus people that are month to month that you're like, God, I hope they stay next month. You know, you're just keeping your fingers crossed. Whereas people that sign up for the 6 month and the 12 month that, you know, they're going to be long-term clients beyond that 6 month and that 12 month mark.
What was the response on that? You know, you went from just a complete rate overhaul from day one, right? Like where we brought all the rates, kind of consolidated them. So everybody or many people got an increase. And that was a year ago.
Yeah. It was basically January of this year.
And then just recently,
10 months,
you know, and then we also then made them contracts. So what was the response there? Because a lot of boxes are equally afraid of increases as contracts.
Yeah.
We'll let you know Monday when it rolls out.
Well, so far it's been good. I mean,
But you've sent the email
absolutely,
out.
yeah.
And what was, I always tell people that angry people don't wait to respond.
Yeah.
So the people that are going to be angry,
you'll get them within 12 hours.
Yeah.
If that, it's like an immediate, like impulsive response. The people, and then it's easy to only cling to those where it's like the 90, 100 people that aren't responding are just accepting it and think it's fine. So when you sent it out, how many responses?
I mean, most of them were, sign me up for the 12 month, keep me at the rate that I'm at. And I only had a couple that were just inquisitive, a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I really understand this. And then only like really one or two that were like, oh no, this is not the direction I want to go. And I'm like, fair enough, you know, and offered to sit down and talk to them one-on-one kind of a thing and try to see if, you know, giving them a little bit more clarification would keep them, you know, coming on. But for the most part, I mean, nobody's really had a huge issue with it. I mean, it's been a really overall good response. I think people know that we have a really good thing going on at the gym. I mean, like I said, the community just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and people want to stay. They're having fun, and that's what it's about. I mean, they're enjoying themselves, and I really feel like we have a great coaching staff as well. Unfortunately, we just lost one. We lost Ryan to the Marines, so he left for basic Monday. But
he's having a good time.
Like,
we've prepared him.
We have literally, I think, mentally.
I don't think anybody can prepare anybody for Paris Island. Yeah.
No, I know. We're like, dude, we've tried so hard. We've just like harassed you for the last 3 years. Literally. So, we're like, keep your head down. Just keep your mouth shut. Just do what they tell you to do. You'll make it.
You say retention was maybe your weakness.
How bad was it?
It's not that it was horrible. It's just it was lacking,
inconsistent.
Yeah,
I guess you could say. I would say every month. I mean, I was at least losing.
But we'd have people that would do the punch cards and stuff. So I mean,
punch cards killed me.
It wasn't shocking when they would want to quit because we've seen them once in the last 2 months. You know, like it's like that type of situation. And if people are coming in and coming consistently, that was not the problem. It was the people that bought punch cards or 2 days a week and then.
Yeah,
they just never,
because I had as low
committed.
as 2 days a week.
That's interesting because we just did a podcast with Jeremy Thiel and he talked about he has a 2 day a week and an unlimited.
But this is the exact problem, right? Most boxes that offer a limited membership, it's just like, okay, it's limited, you'll pay less. What he was saying is there's a lot of accountability to make sure they're coming in for those 2 days.
Yeah.
He had a pretty significant portion of the membership on those, which was higher than I thought he was going to say.
Because I imagine it was more like, hey, I'm going to see you Tuesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. class. And then when you don't see them, you're on top of them versus with a lot of other people, they just treat them like a regular unlimited member, with minimal follow-up.
What do you, so in that whole process, when you know, obviously you said retention was your kind of your biggest struggle, but if you could kind of take us back to that time period, what's different now than 10 months ago? Like, as far as like what you feel like you have control of, and
honestly,
you also have more time. Like,
we
got more coaches on staff, so she has more time to, you know, actually, when she was coaching every class every day, there's no time to follow up with people who are absent.
So let me go back a second. More time.
Yeah.
More money. More fun.
Oh, definitely.
More retention. More coaches.
You're like, wow, that sounds like
crazy.
a winning formula.
But I think, you know, that's a year. That's literally
not even a year.
Not even.
And for the record, Fern, you know, when we first launched, you know, he and I would talk often after most of our calls, and I was like, man, this woman, she's like, I love coaching. And I was like, close your gym and go coach somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I said. Like, it doesn't take much to just turn it around. Well,
that's not accurate. It was a lot of hard work.
Okay. I'm not downplaying the work, but the point is, because it's not years and years and years.
The first part of Affiliate U I was like, my brain just was
what? Like, what about it?
Just everything, you know, writing your eulogy, and just, it was almost like, I was like, I don't know if I know what I'm doing here, you know, just, it was a lot, but it was great because it makes you dive in deep and really realize why you're doing what you're doing and learning how to go the right direction. And there's still things that I feel like I still need to implement and still continue to do better on. But it's a process. You can't expect to do all of it because there's so much knowledge that you guys give us. You can't do all of it at one time. Like,
well, you'll never be done.
No. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I look at, you know, the 180-day journey. Like, I feel like I do okay, but I need to do way better at that. And I feel like, again, that helps with client retention, just following up with them at those, you know, those benchmarks. And I think that's where a virtual assistant could possibly help me. And I actually have a client that's kind of offered that I think would be really great at it. She has a really good personality that I think would be really helpful in almost like being a office assistant to kind of do that kind of stuff and follow up with people. The onboarding process, that has helped us out tremendously.
Were you doing anything before?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's like hop in the class, go.
Well, we were like, hey, come try out a day or two for free. And
a day or two, like nothing set in stone.
Maybe 3.
No.
You want another one?
Here's another one. Here's a free week. Hey, how about that? Like, you know, and there was zero onboarding.
Amanda, I have a question for you. So obviously you're kind of the objective third party here. So I'm actually more interested in what you have to say with regard to Jenn over the past 10 months and what you've seen with regard to her, the box, and how things are different.
I'm just proud because I've literally been with her since day one, and just not just this past year, but the last 4 years, like the growth she has been as a leader. Because I mean, it was rough the first year or two. I mean, there's no questioning that. I mean, just because she's stressed, you know, opening a business by herself, doing every single aspect of it by herself for probably 3 years, 3 years. But then whenever she committed with you guys, and then just like her willingness to put in the hard work and turn everything around and take the leap and do it all, it's just been amazing to watch how our box has grown since then.
What's she like in the box now versus 10 months?
She's way stronger.
Definitely.
More time to train.
That's because of my nutrition.
Yeah, no, true story. Like,
we looked at a picture the other day of her opening the box.
I was like,
for one of the first calls I had with them, in the background, there was McDonald's.
No, that was Amanda's.
I remember like, wait a second, is that McDonald's behind you?
Is that a McGriddle back there?
It was. I think it was a. What are they? I don't even know what they call. What are they? The shake. A shake. It was a shake. I can't even think of the name.
It was a drink.
You had fries though. You had
fries.
A McFlurry.
Damn, McDonald's fries. Now that doesn't happen often, Jay.
So what else has changed though? Joking aside, she has more time to train. But what else have you noticed with her?
Just literally just the growth and leadership of like actually being an owner, like not just being there to train and coach and have fun, but like actually like taking hold of her business and making it something that can be sustainable for the future. Because it's always been her like passion, her dream, but like she just she's great at the coaching side. Like nobody questions that. She's awesome. She turns everyone around that comes in. But like the business side, it's just like she needed help.
Yeah. So Fern likes to say, passion has a shelf life, and it's a little bit longer for CrossFitters because we're tough.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you waking up every day for 3 years, literally getting food stamps to pay your own bill? Like, why'd you keep doing? Like, that's the definition of insanity. And what were you expecting to change? Like, what was happening? What would go through your mind every day?
Honestly, I would be like, it's 4:00 again.
Like, did you hate it, or did you still have a little bit of passion for it?
Mornings were hard. I'm not a morning person, so waking up and coaching at 5. Well, at the time it was 5:30. Now it's a 5:15 class. I was like, oh, I would kind of dread that class only because like I'm not an early riser.
But waking up early is terrible regardless. But when you're not making money, it's even worse.
It became a grind. I would say it was weighing on me a lot. And I think that point in time where she's the one who told me about you guys. And she was like, look, I listened to this podcast. I really feel like
one guy's really smart. One guy is global.
She's like the guy named Fern. She's like the guy named Fern.
Doesn't know where Africa
is a genius.
Knows his
Not
shit.
great with Africa. Thinks it's near Brazil.
Pointed at South America and thought it was Africa, but it's fine.
Something about aliens.
The globe is too big. Yeah.
Well, the same thing. I'm like, either they can help you or they'll tell you to stop. Like, because
What did you think?
As her best friend, I'm like, you have to change something. Like,
what did you think when I told
What was your
her?
relationship before the gym?
We didn't know
They
each
met
other.
We didn't know each other.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we started training together like soon after I started.
Like I'd probably say 6 months after you started. She started training with me. And
Do you remember me telling you to close down? Because
Yes.
part of me is like, did I really say that? Like,
No.
or have I just said it to myself?
You told her, go close down and go coach and make money somewhere else. Like,
Yeah,
you can
I
make
said
a
that.
decent
Yeah.
salary coaching if that's what you
I
want.
thought I said it, but sometimes like
you
you. So what did you think when I said that?
Honestly, almost like relief for her, like as
It's like somebody telling you to put your dog down, like it's sick.
It's okay for you to do.
Yeah, giving you permission.
Yeah, she's got so much fight in her that it's like she's not going to she's going to kill herself before she cuts it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I'd run myself into the ground.
But what was the end goal when you were on food stamps, waking up at 4:00 every day? Like,
Realistically, how long do you think you could have sustained that?
Maybe till right now, about another year.
You think you had a full another year in there?
Was your lease up or something? Like, did you have like a thing in mind that was
my
like,
lease was actually up not
long after last summer or no, 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
So you just re-signed
Yeah, I had a 3-year and then I just re-signed
for how long?
For 2.
for another 3.
For another 3.
So were
Yeah.
you just kind of like, did you have something? Was it like, okay, I need to either get X amount of members or
Yeah, I always
what
kind
was
of
the
had
date where you would close?
my goal was always like, if I can get to 100 members, I think I'll be okay.
And since she's newer, it was always, everyone struggles in their first 2 years, and then
Yeah.
it was everyone struggles in their first 3 years.
Yeah.
So what were you?
I think that's a fallacy that floats around
I would agree.
the CrossFit community, because you don't have to. It doesn't have to be miserable. Like we've
and I think that's
taken
in small
multiple
business
gyms.
in general. They're like, you're going to really struggle.
No, we have
your first-
multiple. I mean,
Yeah.
I have
Nina
multiple
has
people.
85 members.
100.
And when she opened 3 months ago,
She's been open for 90 days.
Wow.
No, it was 150. It was just shy of 6 months. It was 100.
5 months.
Wow.
How many members were you at the time?
Maybe when we had our call, I would say maybe 60 maybe, and held on to them through the COVID
All right,
shutdown.
so it's
thank
not, you
God.
weren't like completely being irrational to get to 100. I mean, you were at 65.
No, but it was just like that number never went up.
So
You know what I'm saying? It just kind of sat there because it was
'Cause
like
we go to
a gain and lose, gain and
Right.
lose, gain and lose.
3 out, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out.
Exactly.
When we first talked, one of the first, like we always tell people, like affiliate you, there's a curriculum, but we do bounce around based on your needs.
Mhm.
And one of the first things we attacked was the discounted rates.
Mhm.
What was that? What are you laughing at, Amanda?
Just the amount of people.
Oh my God. When I looked at it, I was
Did
like,
you have any idea?
no, because I have a bleeding heart. I mean, most people
Fern's
look at
a
me
bleeding
and they're
heart
like,
liberal.
It's true.
Like,
Save the whales.
I can, most people kind of look at me and like think, I'm kind of a hard ass, but really I'm
It's just your
kind of
short hair.
I know, right? I have
People
a
say
tender
the same
heart.
about me.
I know, right?
I just,
And
I
it's
think
like-
most CrossFitters actually have that.
I really do. And
What?
somebody would come
like
up
a
to
heart,
me
like,
and
and
be
they're
like,
just like,
I
oh, they want to help
love
people.
it. It's probably no different
Yeah.
than being a nurse, right? Like you don't get into nursing for the money, and you don't get into CrossFit originally, at least for the money.
no.
And at some point, we like Fern said, like, oh, we believe we can't make
Yeah.
money, but you do it because you love it.
Yeah. I mean, it was me. I was like, I love it. I want these people in here. And then, every time somebody would be like, can I get a discount on this? Or can I get a, special rate for this? And I'd be like, yes. I was like the yes girl, like never telling anyone no. But then after going through the program, I realized like, why? Like I'm literally spinning my wheels, not being, and then when I looked at a printout of how many people are on a discount, I was like, that's almost everybody.
I was gonna say what percentage?
I was like, oh my,
Like 100.
it was like
wasn't
80,
it like above 60%?
I want to say it was
how
like
were
in
those
the
discounts?
70 to 80. I was like,
how were they happening?
like just anywhere from, students to, law enforcement to, this and that. But then
But those
it was,
are like standard,
right.
discounts.
But then it would be like, oh, I can't quite afford this rate this month. Can I get on this? Yeah, sure. And then we would run like the, $100 for the next like 6 months, like if you sign up now kind of a thing, or we'll give you your first 3 months for, $50 and, and you're constantly running Facebook ads and specials to get people in the door. But those are the people that are always looking for
right
specials.
out the door after the special.
Exactly.
How much time and effort, money were you spending on Facebook ads?
Oh, I spent a couple
Only
thousand.
the year before.
That year before, I can't remember. I worked with someone and I spent like at least $2,000.
Did
on
they
And I did
return at
not.
all? Nothing.
Facebook.
So when you get to the point where you start to make these price changes, the biggest thing is the fear factor.
Mhm.
So what is it that what was, as you're going through that, what shifted? And obviously you're still freaked out when you do it,
Oh yeah.
but now
you were pretty good about it.
I
But, like,
looked calm, but on the inside I had like massive anxiety.
I think everybody feels that,
Yeah.
but how did you go? How was that process for you? And like mentally going through that, like, I'm doing it because this is what needs to happen.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people won't make that leap. They won't do it. They'll freak out and they'll be like, no, everybody's going to leave. The
Yeah.
gym's going to fold. And then something happens for the people that decide they want to be on the other side of the wall. So what was that for you?
I mean, honestly,
I mean, it was like sink or swim. Like if
that was, yeah, she
Same
was like,
thing.
if people leave, then they're not meant to be there. Like the people that want to be at your gym that love what we're doing. And she's like, they'll stay. And she's like, I can tell you it's more people than you think. And honestly, we lost one person.
One
from our-
person?
I think that's
What
it.
an
One or
asshole.
two.
Who was it? Shout him out.
Call
Tell
him
him.
right now.
Tell him.
Bob.
Yeah, we're going to Bob. Bob.
No, but in all seriousness, that one person, what quality member were they before?
I don't think it wasn't to do with the price. It was other
Yeah,
reasons.
it was
Other
other reasons. Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
it's always
I
like,
mean,
They're
it's
going to
always
leave anyways. my
exactly.
point, yeah.
So we'll just use this as the reason why we're going to
Oh,
exit.
You got rid of the 5. You changed the 5:30 to the 5:15.
Yeah.
You never came to that class.
I know,
Bob,
like,
you-
I was
you've
gonna go.
never
I was
come
gonna
to
start
that
Monday.
I was going to start.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to start on
But
Monday.
it's always, we always tell people, it's like the people that leave, are typically significantly discounted. So they're not real members,
yeah.
and they never, truly buy into it.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, honestly, for me, it was going through the process of writing the letter to my members where I was just like, look, I'm not going to overly dramatize this and, tell you all of my business, but this is happening because I need to run a sustainable business in a long run. That's kind of what I put. And I was like, I really believe in the things that we're doing at this gym. And I feel like you guys do too. And I think that a change in price isn't going to change your perspective on whether or not you want to be at the gym. But I would like to not live on food stamps. Basically, I didn't write that, but that's what I was thinking in the back of my head. And I, of course, worded it in a more eloquent way than that. But I think people got the gist and were like, yeah, we're down with it.
So that's always like one piece. And I think everybody thinks the price change is going to fix everything. Like that's like you typically like a step of many that you have to work through. What are some of the things that you find yourself spending more time on now that you were spending zero time on before?
Again, onboarding. I think has been huge. Also, I would say a lot of the client recognition things that we do,
like making the members feel special.
You're right. The committed club, the referral program has been, people are like, what? I give
they really like their birthday cards too.
Yes, they love that.
But these are all things, nothing crazy. It's just
we talked about this earlier today. You're nothing.
I'm talking
simple thing.
And we like love doing it too. Like it's fun for us.
But you didn't have the time to do it previously, and B, that's kind of like what with the passion. It's like you have to show up for class, but the other things that are important. As that passion, that candle starts to go out, those little things stop happening.
Well, you don't have the emotional equity to spend anymore.
No, and you just don't have the energy, period. Like, you're waking up 4 o'clock, coaching all the classes, and then going home and, using food stamps to pay for food.
What was the first role you gave up in the gym?
It was probably to you. I gave up.
Other than coaching.
I do she does the birthday cards.
She does the programming, puts programming in.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. I mean, even though it's just little teeny chunks of time, made a massive difference. And then hiring on other coaches has freed up
3 coaches
to 5. Yeah, we've gone from 3 to 5. Yeah.
Do you have any other full timers or just you?
Just me. They all have other jobs. Like
Amanda will do one day.
Eventually. Well, I mean, the goal is, she's she's a nutritionist, so she does her precision, through precision nutrition. And then she applied for the CrossFit Health thing. And the whole goal is
for like the health coach.
That's
awesome.
Big mistake. She mentioned to me.
We should have put Fern's
they
name. They were like, shit. She's friends with Ackerman. We won't put her on the back of the file.
Maybe they'll let me edit the application.
Yeah. She's like, can I change my second contact, please? I have Fern's email.
I meant to say Fern.
And his phone number.
Fernandez.
But so the goal is to eventually have her, at least my goal, and I know it's hers too, to be a health coach.
After she has a sugar daddy,
Yeah. To be a health coach, but to be basically full-time on staff. Yeah. I mean, she's a phenomenal CrossFit coach, as well as she's doing great with the nutrition side of things, which I would have never been able to do because I would not have had the time. So the fact that we have that to offer our clients now has been huge. I mean, it's been amazing to see some of the transformations in just the last, you've been doing it for what, a year now?
Not even that.
Not even. It's been crazy.
Yeah. Remember we launched it with the seminar.
Yeah.
That's one thing we talk about, have a little free seminar. How many clients did you get right off that?
Can't remember.
Might have been like a half a dozen.
Yeah.
But just still, for a box with no nutrition coaching, you have 6.
Yeah. Right, and now she sits around 8 to 10 on a constant basis.
And she over delivers though. She gives too much.
I really feel like she still is not charging quite enough for the amount of service that she provides.
Right. She she over delivers for what she's asking for, and it's
Well, listen, she has to go through what you went through. It's a process.
Listen, I got thrown into it with.
I know, right?
What do you do for yourself now with more time?
Me?
Yeah. Other than volunteer,
sleep a little bit more.
Do you sleep more?
I'm trying.
How many of the morning classes are you still coaching?
At least 2.
Yeah, but 2 is better than 5.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've given up some of those morning classes,
and the afternoons are a lot better because one of my coaches, she is a public school teacher, so she can only do 2 classes in the afternoon block. So she'll do that 2 times a week. So that frees up 2 evenings where I can go home early and actually get ready for bed and eat early, and then in turn get more sleep. Even if I have to wake up at 4:15, then I'm getting much better rest.
Yeah, that's the worst grind when you're done late.
Yeah,
get home, you still have to eat.
That was happening almost
wake up in 5
every day.
hours. Yeah.
I was just like,
it's never ending. It's like a hamster wheel.
Yeah, it was basically about 5 hours of sleep a night, and it was just my Whoop was like, "You're dying," literally, and I was like, "I know, stop telling me my recovery is in the red at 15." I know. She's like,
"Go to bed."
I'm like, "Hey, I just woke up." I know. And I'm like, "Let's go train today," and I'm like,
"It's like you need to sleep 17 hours tonight."
I make up for the last year.
What's your goal? How many classes would you like to coach in your ideal world?
Honestly, about 10 a week.
Yeah, I think that's what most people say. 8 to 10 is
a week.
8 to 10 is the life.
And I would say sprinkled in at different times because my clients miss me. Oh, they get really, except for that 5 they get a little salty. When my afternoon has gotten salty, like when I haven't shown up for a few days in a row, and they're like, "Oh, you still enjoy coaching us?" And I'm like, "Oh,
see you today."
I'm like, "Wow."
I was telling Cassidy recently, I was like, I don't feel like people miss me at the gym.
Okay. That's a good.
And I was like, I'm sad and happy all at the same time.
No.
I just kind of walk through the gym and just talk shit to people randomly.
And that's always fun.
And then I just like walk through and then I'm gone.
Did somebody see Vern?
I'm like, Ron, you old bastard, you look like shit. And then he's like, who said that? I'm
somebody
like,
called me a turd. Who was that?
Yeah.
Hey, in her free time, she gets to volunteer for the Rogue Invitational. We're here for
you're here for 3 days.
And people are totally covering the gym.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about an equipment fee?
That went through actually really well. Like, I just did it. So I'll see what kind of fun stuff I get to buy.
But no negative response. How many people opted out?
0.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
$50 a person?
Mm-hmm. Per household,
right?
Of course. Yeah.
And then the opt-out option for the first year.
Yeah.
And then going forward, new members, it'll be kind of baked into their membership once a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I actually put it in my transparency sheet. So everybody's
exactly
aware.
Where you should put it.
Yep.
And
it is all in there.
Jen just wrote a transparency sheet and I was telling you.
Rewrote.
Kind of, and she had like this dog policy.
And you were like,
bring your dogs in.
And
everyone bring your dogs in now. We're having bow wow night.
Dogs are allowed as long as your dog doesn't bark and is well behaved. And I'm like,
you're like, that's like
kids.
Dog.
Right? Yeah. It's like kids. Like my kid's great.
My kid's super handsome.
Is an asshole. Yeah. And your dog is an asshole.
Your dog's an asshole.
So I think,
Let me guess, your dog
why is your dog peeing on the dumbbells?
Yeah, your dog needs a full bottle of water for the 1 hour class that you're here.
Do you have any Fiji water for my dog? No, I'm sorry. I don't even drink Fiji water.
So we got rid of that. But I mean, 3 things that I was just conversing with a different client earlier. And they're like, I'm afraid of the waiver. I'm not the waiver of the contracts. I'm afraid of the equipment fee. And it's still like all the self-limiting beliefs that box owners have.
I tell people, I'm like, there's 52 weeks in a year.
Put $1 away.
With $1 a week. Just put it in a jar if you don't want to have it come out of
It's not the money. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just. It's all perceived value, right? Like, and we've talked about this before, but it's how you do anything, right? So it's not like the agreement or it's all about how you do that. And again, going back to what we stress to everybody all the time is like, just do the simple things well. You don't. It's none of the stuff is rocket science, but you can do anything poorly.
Yeah.
And that's where most of us live most of our affiliate lives. Is we do it very, very, very poorly because either nobody holds us accountable to do it the right way, to put in a little bit of effort, to follow through with the idea or any of that stuff. And it's like, it's no different than training. Like we could make so many analogies to training, which is like spend a little extra time on your air squat. Not a ton, but like have a virtuous squat and you will probably be fitter as a result of that. And I think, that's kind of what we always preach. And I think that everybody that follows through with that ends up in a way better spot. Just like do the simple things. It's nothing complex. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's like, go back and revisit and then do that every year. Go back and revisit the things you just did and then polish them again. And then you're going to do it the following year. And then 10 years from now, you're going to continue to do that over time. I think that's the fun part because at that point, the small refinements begin to have like big ROI. And this is when the ball starts to roll and you're like, oh, that was like a significant impact on the business. And I'm like, yeah, but it was the 5th iteration of that very simple idea. And that's kind of how you got there. So
how many members do you think you're at right now?
I'm just over 100. I'd say about 105.
Right? That's the number you said.
Yeah.
But if you would have gone to 100 a year ago, you still could have been failing.
Oh, absolutely.
So you had 100, 105. What would you say the average rate is?
Probably about 135, 140.
And what's your rate on your site?
12-month agreement's 150.
But we have lots.
And then we have lots
families.
of couples that are at
the discounted
of
rate.
they're like at 135 if they're at a 12-month agreement.
Right around that lowest 12-month agreement, which is what you want most people at. What's your retention look like nowadays?
Oh,
you've netted 35 people in 10 months.
Yeah.
So probably pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And
again, the people that we've lost, I feel like we're kind of one foot in, one foot out already.
And ultimately it doesn't matter. You're like, if you're at 65 and you're up 3 a month on average right now.
Oh yeah.
Coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
What do you think about your owner responsibility? Sustainable?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like, and not only are they sustainable, but I feel like I'm going to continue to get better at them.
See what I did there for him? You see what I just did?
wasn't paying attention to you.
I took your continuum and I tracked all three of your metrics.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
Ferns.
What you missed was there's 4. So, but anyway,
retention.
It was a good try.
Right?
He's getting there.
Retention.
It takes time.
Owner responsibilities.
ACV.
Average client value. Oh, that's right. Average revenue.
Are you just making up words now?
No, you just
you just literally looped in multiple things.
Semantics. Yeah. I'm late. I'm tired.
It's definitely not semantics. Yeah.
Anyway, Bombshell is fit.
Yes.
Based on.
And yes. And I mean, the ultimate goal is to continue building our community. And my long-term goal down the road is to eventually have my own place, whether it's buy my own or rent somewhere that I want to design it the way that I feel like a CrossFit space should be designed. Because I mean, what I have right now is it's good, but it could be way better. I feel like.
I mean, the layout, et cetera, but yeah, it'd be great.
Absolutely. I mean, not only that, but just the facilities for my clients and for my staff. I mean, I'm very limited on like the office / space that I have, I just, I feel like I could eventually down the road offer my clients even more.
Well, I think you will, because I think it's important that the struggle is there, right? So I think in order to do things really well, I think you have to go through the valleys, right? So the peaks don't come without the valleys. And I think having to work with a space that's less than ideal and figure out how to, rearrange it a dozen times and then, create an office out of a closet and then do stuff like that. I think it makes you a more savvy business owner. I think it makes you a more resourceful human being. And then I think it makes you way more customer service oriented, so that when you do get that space, it won't be just because you got an awesome space. It'll be because I built this and I was doing it out of a closet before. And I know exactly how I want this to be. Yeah. And it'll not only be a nicer space, but it will feel like people are getting the service that they walked in the door for, because you can walk into a really, polished gym and it still suck.
Yeah.
But if you're coming up from the bottom, having gone from hating life, wanting to quit the gym, and then working through that, doing a lot with nothing, doing more with less resources, and then working your way to the top, which is the goal, then you get to keep all of the fun parts of it. You get to keep the love and the passion for the gym. It's just way more fun at that point.
Absolutely.
So going back now to our first phone call, did you think you would be here today?
I mean, after I got off the call with you, I looked at her and I was like,
that's one sexy man.
That's one sexy bearded man. Is he as tall as me?
Is he as tall as he looks like?
For the record, you're definitely taller than he is.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Oh, I like how he blames it on the hair. That's funny. But I did get off the call with you and I looked at her and I was like, something in my gut tells me this is like the direction I need to go. I'm like, I really feel like this is it. And I was scared. And she was like, sink or swim. Like, she literally was like, either pull the trigger or don't. Like, either we're going to close the doors and it's going to suck because 3 years of hard work has gone out of the, out the door, or you work with these guys and we turn it around. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I think I kind of kept hesitating a little bit when like you would touch base with me, and I was like, all right, finally, I think the second time maybe you touched base with me, I was like, okay, we're doing it. And then I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Do you remember there's a little bit of hesitation?
There was.
So.
I was just, it was scary.
Yeah. Especially when you're not realizing now, like, you had no money.
Like, yeah. I mean, that was all.
How'd you pay for it?
I think the gym was like doing just good enough where you had like that much money.
And then I got really lucky over COVID. My landlord postponed my rent and actually took the money I didn't pay during COVID, rolled it into my next lease, but split it over the 3 years. I got like super.
Yeah. Oh,
lucky.
he amortized it over the length
so
of the
like
loan. Yeah.
year one, I was at a price. Now I'm in the second year of my lease, so it
Yeah.
went up a little bit, and then next year it'll go. But it wasn't like
It's typically-
outrageous where I was like,
Yeah,
what?
typically like 3% is would be an annual
Right.
increase, but I did the same thing with my landlord.
And I was
where
really
we-
lucky. My realtor that I originally used, I was like, Jeff, can you help me out? Because I am terrible at this kind of stuff. Because my landlord was like, here's a lease. And he threw me my old lease to repeat and re-sign. I was like, I'm not signing that. Like, I need my realtor to look over this. And my realtor's like, no. He's like, I'll talk to him. So he literally worked out all of that with him. And it worked out beautifully, which helped me in turn have the money basically to start with you guys. And then after that, it was just like, okay, now I'm actually seeing things happening. So yes, this is going to be sustainable over the next, however
Well,
long.
you did it. You're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know, you made the turn.
What's the plan for the motorcycle? Come on.
What do you
I
want?
mean,
What kind of
Do you want a
motorcycle?
one
You
wheel?
know,
Want a one wheel? I'll get you one.
Crotch rocket or
no,
okay.
no,
She's a Harley
no,
girl.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I'm a
Like a fat boy? Like what are we talking about?
I mean, I don't know. They've so
Sportster, like for short people like that.
I don't know. The one I sold, I loved. She knows, like, I was heartbroken when I sold it. I was like, because it was like I owned it. It was like the one thing I still own.
Living
know,
out of her motorcycle.
I'm like, if I could live on my bike, I would, but I was like, I sold it. Honestly, I sold it to help keep my box open.
yeah.
I had to pay bills. I was like, I don't need this bike. I want it. I like it. I enjoy it. And I haven't looked at bikes since then because it just was like, I don't know. It took a little bit of my soul when I sold it. So I need to start looking at bikes again because there's a lot out there now. So
Yeah, this is the time of year you should buy one, right?
yeah,
Winter's probably good pricing.
it can be. I mean,
You're in Texas.
Texas.
that is Texas. We don't really have one.
I keep giving her the ER horror stories though.
I know.
You just got a one wheel.
I know. Thank you. Right.
Look
Yeah.
at Fern.
Yeah, a 20
Don't
mile per
listen to the
accident
nurse,
versus a 75
I-
mile per
I have
accident.
a
A little
motorcycle
different.
license and I've never
You-
bought one for that
you
reason.
I
say
have
that.
a motorcycle license too, and
Yeah,
I've ridden
boy,
around my neighborhood.
You
but-
say that, yet the 50-year-old guy who broke his hip, if that would be me, my probably ER bills would be higher than what I'm going to pay
Yeah,
for
I
that
don't
bike
think-
because I don't have health insurance.
I don't think you should be on a one wheel and I don't think you should be on a motorcycle. Let's wrap up. You guys
Yeah.
have Louisiana in common.
Yes, we do.
Go Cajuns.
great state.
Raging
The great,
Cajuns.
the great boot.
The cactus. Is that what they were?
No.
What?
What was the thing? Pepper?
The Raging Cajuns. Yeah,
Pepper.
the pepper. Yeah,
Oh, come on,
cayenne
looks
the
like a
pepper.
pickle.
Yeah.
All right. I want to hear you two talk crawfish recipes.
I mean,
I want to hear what goes into this. What Fern
it
has his
depends where
annual.
you're from.
in
Yeah.
a Louisiana accent.
Oh no!
Oh,
Don't ask.
Can you guys speak
Now-
Cajun? Can you guys do the water boy?
Oh,
You can do it.
No.
oh no! The H2O.
I actually do. So like she's from Lafayette, and I like there's a couple different distinct accents in Louisiana. So like
Yeah,
like the Opelousas, Metairie. Then you have
they sound like they're from almost like they're from Jersey.
Right.
Honestly,
there's like a
from
weird little
New
twang
Jersey.
to it,
Yeah.
and like Lafayette has a different one. And then if you go north and you start moving towards like Shreveport,
They're like from Texas
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah,
They
Shreveport's
almost have like. But then if you go to like places, you're not going to know any of these places, but like Bro Bridge
Yep.
or it is deep, like
really deep. It
like,
was like what was the History Channel show when they had to have subtitles on there, but they're speaking English. But,
Oh man, what was it? The swamp
Swamp people? The swamp
Yeah.
people? Yeah. But they were just normal people. Yeah. And they were just like rage. Everybody had a Piro and they're just like, what are they doing? I'm like, they're just living life, man.
I worked a couple of seminars in Shalimar, the Panhandle,
Mhm. Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what language are you guys speaking?
Yeah.
Because this is not English.
It
Like, I
gets,
can't understand
yeah,
you.
they're that kind of like deep Cajun. It's got like a couple weird twangs to it, but I love it. When I hear it, I'm like, man, that sounds like
Yeah.
home, dude. It's great. But anyway, we're glad you're here. We're glad you did it. It's been awesome
Yeah.
to see you and a lot of other gym owners grow and
Absolutely.
and grow into the leadership roles and keep the dream and make it happy. And we're stoked to see you keep going in the future and get that motorcycle and go on a vacation.
No motorcycle, but just be happy.
Now he's changed his.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to
He's
have it.
like, now I don't want you to
Just
have
get a
it.
scooter.
I'm worried about
Just get a scooter. I'll be like,
Moped.
a nice Vespa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And we hope you guys have fun having a not real job at the Rogue Invitational tomorrow. So yeah, just kind of roaming around. You're like Jay. You have like a not real
Oh yeah,
job.
we'll totally be Jay for the day.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Jay for the weekend.
Jay for the day.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. It was fun, and we'll have you on again.
Heck yeah.
One more year, next year, annual
Annual.
visit.
Yeah. When you
Jenn
get
and
that
Amanda.
motorcycle, we'll have you back on.
Sounds good. Deal. Not a Vespa.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.